after Rachel Zegler has been getting roasted hard for her comments.
It's obviously a very convoluted subject, and I'm not fully equipped to talk about all of the gritty details.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged. Truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy. And
people suspect she's doing some PR damage control.
The reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings.
A police report, a leaked threat, and Rachel Zegler, once hailed as Hollywood's next Golden Girl, is now allegedly under actual investigation by law enforcement. This isn't just bad PR. This isn't just another backstage meltdown. What's coming out of London right now could end her stage career for good. Sources close to the Evita production say the director has filed an official report with local authorities after a disturbing backstage incident, one that allegedly involved Zegler shouting threats during a heated outburst. And here's the part no one saw coming. The entire thing was caught on camera.
Hey, Rachel. Congratulations on all the success too, Rachel.
Sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Rachel, you got time to sign some autographs for us, Rachel? Rachel, please. Rachel, you got time to sign some, Rachel? Maybe on the way out?
Security footage, or a phone recording depending on who you ask, reportedly captured Zegler making what insiders are now calling unhinged, aggressive, and deeply inappropriate comments toward the director during a private confrontation just off stage. The moment, never meant to be seen by anyone outside the production, has now spiraled into something far more dangerous than a viral scandal. It's not just whispers anymore, it's turning into a full-blown legal nightmare. Because filing a report wasn't just a warning shot, it was a deliberate, calculated move. A move that escalated this chaos from a celebrity temper tantrum into a serious workplace threat. This isn't just drama anymore. It's a real incident with real consequences. Consequences that could echo through police stations, courtroom testimonies, and official investigations. And the question haunting everyone behind the scenes now is this: what pushed things so far? Why would a professional theater director, someone used to handling egos and backstage tension, feel the need to go to the authorities against the lead of his own show? Whatever happened that day didn't just cross a line, it obliterated it. And what happens next is going to be messier, louder, and far more career-altering than anyone expected.
It looks like all this agenda is for the sake of girl power, for the sake of wokeness, for the sake of ridiculousness and stupidness that women bring to entertainment much of the time nowadays. When all a woman really has to do is be attractive and don't screw it up. That's all a woman really has to do in media.
Tensions on the Evita set didn't explode overnight. This was a slow, simmering burn. And according to multiple insiders, the signs were flashing red from the moment Rachel Zegler touched down in London to begin work on the high-stakes West End revival. Something felt off.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job. I'm being so serious. I mean, a lot of people keep asking me. Hi, Adam. My agent's over there. Hi, Ken. My lawyer. My entire family is here. Hi, everybody. Sorry. No, I mean, the reality was we were in the middle of a pandemic and I was not working and I couldn't get a job for the life of me because West Side Story hadn't come out yet, and it was really hard to book work for me. So I was really excited when this came in my inbox. I loved the first movie, and the fact that they even wanted me to come in for a callback and then a chem read and then everything in between. I'm so lucky that I got this job. I made some of my best friends on this job, and I just absolutely adore this movie.
There were whispers, quiet at first, about missed rehearsals, frosty stares exchanged with crew members, and sudden mood swings that left entire production blocks in disarray. What began as hushed conversations in hallways quickly turned into patterns the team couldn't ignore. Still, people made excuses. She's under pressure, some said. She's young. This is huge for her. Give her time. But time didn't help.
Okay, I'm not making this video to actually trash on Rachel, though I do want to say that Entertainment Tonight is circulating around that clip as if it's an apology or related to the Snow White debacle, and it's not, it's old. She's actually in a bad spot because they're doing the writer's strike and she can't talk about the film. She can't really clean up the stuff that she said that people find to be so offensive. I just wanted to add that they were probably coached into saying things like she's not going to be saved by the prince and this is modern, etc. And she's putting it into her words, and Gal Gadot is putting it to her words, but this isn't like a mistake from Disney. They know what's in the film, they read the script, they acted it out, etc. So the things that are coming off so badly to us is, I mean, they're a participant, but it's Disney's fault. The thing about Disney is they seem to despise the things that made them a household name and a lot of their customers who made them what they are. So if you're upset that Disney doesn't seem to understand or is maybe even revolted by the old Snow White, maybe you're just not their customer base anymore.
Zegler, who was once hailed as a breath of fresh air after her breakout role in West Side Story, quickly saw that shine fade behind the scenes. Her energy, once praised as bold and magnetic, started to read as combative. She allegedly began challenging direction in the middle of live blocking, brushing off feedback with biting sarcasm, and on more than one occasion storming off stage in frustration. What should have been rehearsals turned into power struggles, and at the center of that storm stood the director. A respected West End veteran with decades of experience and a reputation for navigating high-stakes productions with steady control. But even he, according to sources close to the production, admitted privately that Rachel Zegler was pushing limits he had never seen tested before.
That's not where my problem comes. I'm all for it. Go for it. But what she's doing in press, and these are interviews that I believe were done before the actors' strike, but of course are now being brought up on the internet. She's basically talking about how much she didn't like the actual original movie, even saying that it scared her, and then talking about how the love story in this isn't really going to be at the forefront, that the prince, yes, has been cast, he's in it, but might be cut, Hollywood, and that the prince in the original film was problematic and was creepy because he was stalking Snow White. I just can't believe that Disney's PR hasn't silenced her on this yet. The live-action movies already have a problem where people are kind of over them and they don't like the changes that are being made from the originals to these. And with this one, we're definitely going to see some change.
Multiple insiders claim the director pulled every lever he could to stabilize things. Quiet one-on-ones, careful feedback, even restructuring entire scenes to better suit her rhythm and reduce stress. But nothing stuck. The mood continued to sour and tensions kept rising. Then came the moment everything snapped. During one particularly high-stakes rehearsal, Zegler allegedly refused to accept a correction the director gave in front of the full cast. What followed wasn't just pushback, it was a confrontation. A standoff so charged, so uncomfortable, that according to those present, you could hear the tension crackling in the air. The entire room reportedly froze.
Sorry? I'm human, talk to me as such.
That silence didn't last because what Zegler allegedly said next was loud enough to leave an impression, and unfortunately for her it wasn't just remembered, it may have been recorded.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses from movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
After the explosive rehearsal, most of the cast thought it was over, just another celebrity meltdown that would be cleaned up by morning. But what no one expected was that someone had proof.
If you YouTube Rachel Zegler's name, only hate videos will pop up. Is this because of Snow White or is this because of something else? And even using Jenna Ortega for clickbait is insane. Like, what does Jenna have to do with this? I'm sorry, y'all truly don't care about her comments about Snow White. Like, y'all just want to jump on another woman's hate train. You know, this is actually looking pretty familiar. Kind of reminds me of another woman that had a hate campaign. But that's for a different video. But yeah, I won't sit back and let another hate train on another woman continue.
According to insiders, the moment Rachel Zegler allegedly crossed the line wasn't just seen, it was recorded. One version of events claims a backstage security camera, standard in most major West End theaters, captured everything, Another, says a cast member, fed up with the chaos, hit record on their phone when things started to escalate. Either way, the result is the same. A video exists, and according to multiple reports, it's explosive. Zegler can allegedly be seen in a full-on tirade, shouting at the director in what's been described as a threatening tone with aggressive language. One source said she accused him of trying to ruin her career and made a chilling remark that went beyond disrespect and into personal threat territory. She wasn't acting anymore, one insider said. It wasn't performance, it was pure rage. But here's the twist. This wasn't some one-off meltdown. The director reportedly showed the footage to producers who were already gathering complaints from cast and crew. That's when things took a serious turn. Instead of confronting her, the director walked out with the footage in hand. Less than 24 hours later, the police were involved. For a brief moment, everything went quiet. No statements, no backstage whispers, just a heavy, uncomfortable silence that settled over the Evita production. But behind the scenes, the director wasn't standing still. Reports say he took the footage straight to the authorities. A formal police report was filed, naming Rachel Zegler as the person responsible for what he described as a direct verbal threat made in a professional setting, and this wasn't some hush-hush move. Word spread quickly. Cast and crew were quietly told that the incident was now a legal matter, meaning interviews, questions, and possibly subpoenas down the road. According to one insider, the director made it clear to police, this wasn't celebrity drama. It was about feeling unsafe at work. And when things reach that level, especially in the post-Me Too era, it becomes a major liability no production wants to be tied to. What's even more unsettling is that this wasn't the first time concerns about Zegler had come up. Reportedly, there were internal HR documents from earlier in rehearsals, detailing what crew described as verbal intimidation and disruptive behavior. None of it had reached the public until now. And with a formal police report in play, everything changed. Because even if no charges are ever filed, the image of an A-list actress at the center of a legal investigation during a live theater, run. That's career poison. Especially when fans and media start asking the one question that PR teams dread. If it got this bad, what else has been hidden? That question alone sparked panic behind the scenes. As soon as news of the police report became public, the mood on the Evita set shifted overnight. Security protocols were quietly updated. Zegler's backstage access was reportedly limited. A new, more visible security presence was stationed near the dressing rooms. One insider put it plainly. They didn't say she was banned, but they sure started acting like she was. Leaked emails reveal that the production team began combing through her contract line by line, hunting for any clause that would allow them to terminate her without triggering financial fallout. And they weren't the only ones backing away. Zegler's talent agency, one of the biggest in the industry, has reportedly gone silent. No public support, no press statements, just a quiet, calculated distance. Meanwhile, Disney, who cast her as the lead in their billion-dollar Snow White reboot, is said to be watching closely. Executives are reportedly very concerned about how this scandal could impact future projects, especially now that headlines are saturated with words like threat, police, and unhinged. Behind the curtain, several Evita cast. Members have allegedly submitted written statements to producers detailing their experiences with Zegler's behavior. Most of the cast described the atmosphere as unstable and emotionally exhausting. Some refused to comment publicly, while others quietly requested to be reassigned or released from their contracts, not wanting their names linked to what's quickly turning into a PR disaster. And Zegler. She said nothing. No interviews, no Instagram Notes app apology, just complete silence. But in the entertainment world, silence isn't always innocent. Sometimes it's calculated, sometimes it's guilt, and sometimes it's just the eerie calm before a storm. Hollywood may seem chaotic from the outside, but behind the scenes it runs on one clear rule: protect the brand. And right now, Rachel Zegler is not a brand anyone wants near. According to insiders, talent agencies, casting directors, and major studios are monitoring the Evita fallout closely, not out of curiosity but caution. They're running the numbers and asking the questions no actor wants whispered behind executive doors. Can we insure her? Can we trust her on set? Is she worth the risk? And most of all, what happens if she has another outburst? Producers attached to several upcoming projects have reportedly started removing her name from consideration. Not publicly, just quietly, with a few clicks and a simple, "Let's go in a different direction." One top casting agent allegedly said, "She's radioactive right now. No one wants to be the next one dragged into a meltdown." This isn't about whether Zegler can act. Everyone knows she's talented. This is about trust, control, whether a multi-million-dollar production can survive the storm she might bring, and it gets worse. She was already on shaky ground. Her Snow White press tour spiraled into a viral mess, comments dismissing the original film, mocking the Prince character, and championing a new kind of girl boss remake didn't just upset fans, they alienated them. Now, with a police report filed and alleged footage showing her threatening a director, the label of bad PR isn't speculation anymore. It's a full-blown reputation. And in an industry built on image, reputation is everything. One executive reportedly put it bluntly. Rachel Zegler was supposed to be the next Anne Hathaway. Now we're wondering if she's the next Lindsay Lohan. Days passed. Speculation swirled. Fans waited for something, anything from Zegler or her team. And finally, there was a response, but not the kind anyone expected. A short, carefully worded statement was released through a publicist. Not from Zegler herself, no video, no apology, no mention of the police report. Just a flat denial that read, "This situation is being grossly misrepresented. The audio being circulated has been taken out of context and was never intended for public release." That was it. No clarification, no direct denial of what she allegedly said, and no attempt to explain the footage. The message was clear: deflect, dismiss, and don't engage. To her critics, it came off as arrogant. Yet another moment where Zegler refused to take responsibility and instead positioned herself as the victim. But to her defenders, it hinted at something darker. Maybe this really was a smear campaign. Maybe the industry was scapegoating yet another outspoken woman who wouldn't play by the rules. The internet exploded. Fan forums lit up. Some came, to her defense, accusing the media of blowing things out of proportion. Others pointed to the pattern. Snow White controversy, Evita meltdown, now police involvement. One user on X summed it up. At what point do we stop blaming context and start looking at the actual behavior? Still, Zegler remained silent. No social media updates, no photos, not even a cryptic Instagram story. It was like she vanished, hoping the headlines would fade. But they didn't, because today, silence doesn't protect you, it fuels the fire. And the longer she stayed quiet, the louder the backlash became. There was a time not long ago when Rachel Zegler was the future. She had Disney's backing. She was handpicked by Steven Spielberg. She wasn't the daughter of a celebrity or the product of connections. She was a breakout star, an underdog, a real-life fairy tale. From West Side Story to the Hunger Games prequel, Zegler's rise felt like destiny. She wasn't just booking roles. She was becoming the face of billion-dollar franchises. She was meant to lead the next wave of fantasy musicals and modern cinema, but somewhere along the way, things changed. It wasn't just a single moment. It was a pattern, a slow unraveling made up of choices, some public and some private, that slowly chipped away at the goodwill she once had. It started with the Snow White press disaster. What should have been a gentle, nostalgic PR campaign turned into a social media battlefield. Zegler's offhand remarks mocking the original film, calling the prince a stalker, labeling the 1937 classic as weird, and promising a new empowered Snow White who doesn't need saving, instantly alienated fans. The backlash came fast and fierce, but instead of backing down, she doubled down. Smirks during interviews, sarcastic one-liners, red carpet clips that made her seem dismissive and above it all. She wasn't promoting a film, she was tearing down a beloved legacy. Then came the Evita chapter, a chance to reset the story, return, to her theater roots and win back public trust with raw, emotional performances on one of the most respected stages in the world. But even before opening night, warning signs appeared again. Rumors of diva behavior, discomfort among the cast, missed rehearsals, mood swings, the whispers that follow stars who believe their own hype and push everyone else aside. It might have stayed contained, might have stayed just rumors if not for the footage, the alleged threats, the police report, if not for the moment when the industry looked at itself and asked, how much longer are we supposed to ignore this? Truth is, they're not. Rachel Zegler is no longer judged solely on her talent. She's judged by the chaos that seems to follow her into every project, the cold silence from executives who once promised her the moon and now won't even return calls. She hasn't been officially fired, not yet. No charges confirmed. There's still time, space to apologize, explain, fight back. But every day she stays silent. Every day she hides behind vague publicist statements. That window closes a little more. There's an unspoken rule in Hollywood. You get one redemption arc. One public meltdown followed by a tearful comeback interview and a heartfelt caption about growth. But that luxury only comes if the public wants to root for you. Right now, they don't. Rachel Zegler had the story everyone loves. Immigrant roots, big dreams, a once-in-a-lifetime voice. She was set to become a household name, a cross-generational talent who could carry both Oscar contenders and Marvel blockbusters. But now, she's a headline, a warning, a case study in how quickly everything can fall apart when ego overshadows gratitude. This isn't just about one backstage meltdown, it's about reputation, repeated behavior. It's about the version of Rachel Zegler who reportedly threatens directors, storms out of rehearsals, and alienates co-stars. That version is one Hollywood is no longer willing to protect. In today's post-Me Too, post-cancel culture, hyper-scrutinized entertainment world, the margin for error is razor thin, and Zegler is cutting right through it. What's tragic is this could have gone differently. She could have owned her mistakes, turned the backlash into a rallying cry, a lesson learned, a transformation. Instead, she vanished and let the story take on a life of its own. Now, it's not about what she did, it's about what people believe she did. And in the age of viral videos, whisper networks, and endless PR spin, belief spreads faster than fact. So where does that leave her? Some say she'll bounce back. Hollywood always forgives its stars eventually. The public forgets quickly. A powerful performance or a viral apology can wipe the slate clean. But others, especially those behind the scenes, aren't so sure. Producers don't gamble on instability. Studios don't fund risks they can't control. And once audiences turn against you, they rarely come back. If this is the end of Rachel Zegler's golden era, it won't be because she lacked talent. It will be because she lacked what every great star eventually needs: humility. The fame was real. The opportunity, unprecedented. But the self-awareness was missing. Now, with police reports, legal drama, and a career unraveling in real time, the world isn't watching her rise anymore. They're watching her fall. And the real tragedy, this didn't have to happen.